Hi, everyone. It's Jen here with Next Wave Business Coaching, and I want to invite you to another Think Tank Thursday, episode 19. And today I'm excited because I have a special guest. This month I've been really focusing on helping entrepreneurs avoid burnout, figure out some ways to take time for themselves, and just incorporate healthy living and stress-free or stress reduction type techniques into your day. And so that's why I'm really excited that I have a special guest. I would like to introduce Lindsey Hicks with Lindseys Healthy Living. She is a personal trainer and a health coach. Welcome, Lindsey. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. I love that topic, and I think it's super important for everyone to take a little bit of time to understand and prioritize their health. So I love that you're doing this.
Well, good. Thank you. And I know you and I both have a passion for that. And, I want to invite everyone to stick around because one of the things I love about your approach is you make it simple and you make it realistic for people.
Mm-hmm.
So, as entrepreneurs, we all jump into it because we have a passion for something and we love it, but let's be real, it can be stressful.
Yeah.
In fact, I was reading today that some of the triggers for stress for entrepreneurs are things like having unrealistic expectations.
Right.
Of course, the managing cash flow, managing employees, just managing even expectations of yourself, having those tough goals that it's like, why do we set these goals for ourselves, right? And so all of that can cause stress. And I know, like when I used to own my store, I used to call it, I'm always in reactive mode, not proactive mode. And so that would cause stress too. And I know that it starts with healthy lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a big believer in that. And I'm a big believer in that taking care of yourself makes you a better business owner. It makes you more successful, and just your family's a little bit happier to have you around too.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
So that's why I think it's such an important topic. And I know a lot of people are like, okay, heard this before and I don't have time for this. But I love your approach because we're going to squash that idea that we don't have time for it. So first of all, tell me a little bit about your business and really your passion and how you got started with your Lindseys Healthy Living.
Yeah. So I think health for everyone is a journey, and I loved it ever since college, which was, oh my gosh, 7 years ago, 8 years ago now, which seems crazy,
but you're a baby.
I know, but still, time goes by so fast. So I think in high school, I played sports and that kind of thing too. But I think you get to a point in your life where you're not competitive in sports anymore, but you still, you need to have that health and wellness aspect to your life to, avoid burnout, to be there and show up for your family. And that really resonated with me in college. My dad, especially, it kind of starts at the point where he had super high cholesterol. He wasn't eating super well and wasn't exercising. Maybe he would ski behind the boat a couple of times in the summer. But he went to the doctor and they were going to put him on cholesterol medication. And I just kind of had this tug in my heart to encourage him not to go on the medication. There are ways to avoid that. My high school and college health classes, they tell you this too. And so it was all coming back to me. So we started working out together and exercising at the gym every day after work. And it was cool because I became even closer to my dad in my college years because of that time together at the gym. And he started eating well because that kind of goes hand in hand. And he has not been in, 7 years or 8 years. The doctor has not brought up his high cholesterol, and that has not been an issue for him anymore. He's way more active and he still goes to the gym regularly. And that just shows the habitual effects of health and wellness, that it does become a habit. It becomes like not as easy as brushing your teeth, but you do get in this routine. And so that's really when I started loving health and wellness and really clearly seeing the effects that it has on my family and myself. And so I became a health coach shortly after college. The career that I was in wasn't fulfilling me as much as I thought it would. And so I was certified through an institution out of New York, and did that, and then became personal training certified, and I'm still in the process of getting certifications. But I think it's never failed me. And that's something that I need to keep learning more and more about, and keep sharing this with other people too. And the health coach in particular is very bio individual. So it's looking at each person, their health, and their relationship with food. And that's why I love the health coaching aspect. It really gets into the specific person and their health story. So
Wow, what a personal journey, and what a cool experience that you were able to have with your dad. I love your passion and your why for starting
mhm.
this, and how now you want to help other people. That's really cool. So you
Yeah.
call yourself a nutrition coach, and you kind of just touched on that a little bit. So what is your main focus? Is it just personalizing something for somebody, or what do you say
Yeah,
is your main focus?
I think what I really became frustrated with in the health and wellness journey is, and I am guilty of this on social media too, with what I post to an extent as well. But there are a lot of people who post these workouts and they don't talk about the people with injuries, or the people who don't have time to work out, or the people who have little kids running around and that's not their priority in that season of life. And I think we really need to get real with ourselves and understand that we're all very different, and we're all in different parts of our health journey as well. So I think people get super discouraged when they're just starting out, but they see people on Instagram, or they hear about their friends doing, a 10K, or being able to lift more, or, they just have this habit and this routine down. And when I meet with my clients, it's so fun to keep them accountable, but also encourage them where they are, and be realistic, and just hear what their goals are. So maybe they do want to get on stage and do a bikini, show, or a bodybuilder show. Great, then let's get there. Maybe it's just, I just want to have the energy after work for an hour to run around with my kids. And I can't do that because of A, B, and C. And so it's just the client that I work with, they do a lot of the talking and the processing, and we give them recommendations and programs to really set them up for their own lifestyle, to make it sustainable, and to encourage them along the way too. So it's very unique to the client.
You touched on a lot of key points. Sustainable for one, the comparison. So true. We do that with everything, not just our health, but also our businesses. We compare to other businesses. And, I think we all know a lot of times what we see on social media isn't real.
Right.
And, love the accountability that you provide. That is huge too.
Mm-hmm.
So one of your mottos, which I love, is healthy made simple.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that? Like, how do you incorporate that? Because I feel like sometimes as busy entrepreneurs, the idea of starting one more thing,
mm-hmm.
and then talking about how it becomes a habit, and it does become a habit. Once it becomes part of your life, you almost crave to work out. If you don't work out, you don't feel as well, and you know that.
Yeah.
But that takes time. Like how long on average does it take somebody, do you feel, to really make that part of their habit and their lifestyle? I just asked you two questions there. Sorry, I got ahead of myself.
No, I love it. I think what we talked about at the beginning of unrealistic goals is where people really get caught up, and that's where they have to backtrack and they have to restart and get into their groove again, because they do feel super discouraged. So people need to, I tell most of my clients, look at your week or look at your month, and actually schedule your moments of exercise. That doesn't mean that you need to spend an hour and a half in the gym. It could be, I just got back from the dog park with my dog, and you are like moving out there and you're sweating and you're active, and that could be your form of movement, which I really appreciate too. But I think setting those unrealistic goals will just set you up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
When you are saying, before work, I'm going to work out for an hour at 5:30 a.m. I'm going to shower, and I'm going to eat this really good, breakfast, and I'm going to drink all this water. And that sounds great the night before, but when you're first starting out, that's a lot of time. It could be 2 hours out of your day that you're trying to just automatically put in your day when you're used to spending that extra time with your spouse watching Netflix or something. Like it is an adjustment. So I would encourage people to start with 15 to 30 minute increments of movement a day. A lot of people say 30 minutes. My target market are working moms, and sometimes 30 minutes is too long.
Right.
And so I say 15 minutes, depending on the season of life that you're in. And then going from there, and it probably takes about 3 months. That's the kind of sessions that I do for my clients, is 3 months at a time, and they can always renew the 3 months. But we start with that because there will be some hiccups, and you have to go into the mindset that I'm going to fall short a few dozen times probably, and that's okay. I'm just going to pick up where I left off and go on from there and keep moving forward. But giving yourself grace and setting yourself up for realistic expectations, and maybe there's no movement at all, and maybe that's fine, but incorporating more veggies into your diet, or using essential oils instead of lotions, or incorporating some self-care, riding home from work in silence rather than a podcast, because you might just need time to be still and take that self-care. So being hard on yourself and setting yourself up with unrealistic goals is what will get people over and over, time and time again, to meet that space of failure. So
it's funny because I feel like entrepreneurs, that's what we do to ourselves, whether it's your health, whether it's your business, whatever you're doing, because we're just typically pretty motivated, high achieving type people. Right. And we're also a lot of all or nothing type people. And I just love how you said, you just got to give yourself grace, schedule it in, like make ourselves an appointment and keep the appointment with ourselves.
Right. You keep it with, your friends and the people that you have meetings with. So keeping that schedule to yourself is super ideal. And what I say to my clients too is you do need to keep that why at the center. That will keep you moving forward. I remember my grandma, she was not diagnosed with diabetes, but she went to the doctor and they were concerned about the direction that she was headed. And she actually put the 4 of her grandkids, so me, my brothers, and one of my cousins, up on her desk so she could see it every day, to just remind her of her why she was eating celery over a cookie when she was sitting at her desk. Like, it's not always fun. Your taste buds need time to adjust. And that's why people slip into that, failures. And it's not even failure. It's just a little hiccup, bump in the road.
Right.
But you need to have that why focus, and everyone's why is going to be different. And that's the beauty of health and wellness. But that will keep you moving forward and keep you on track, because it's more than just eating healthy.
Right.
It's who you're doing it for. And if you take care of yourself, you'll be able to serve other people well in your life. So
there's so many correlations to creating a business and being on track with the business, and creating a health program and being on track with a health program. So really, entrepreneurs are made for this. It's like the journey's the same. The why is the center of what we do our business for. The why should be the center of what you do your health and wellness for. And so I love that correlation. For me, I started really getting involved with health and wellness and stress. And I started learning how the gut is kind of our second brain, and helps with stress. And that's helped me be a better business owner, a better mom, a better wife, a better friend, just all the above. And a lot of people, I think, always think health and wellness is about the scale.
Yep.
And
I have that so out of my mind that I don't even think about it anymore. But yes, I do know that that's still a battle for some people.
It is. And I think that's our culture that puts it there. And my why is I had my 3rd child at older age, and I wanted to make sure that I could keep up with my active family. So that's why I work out, is for strength training, for stretching. So I can go downhill skiing, I can play volleyball, I can do all these things. So I love how you said put the why at the center. So it sounds like you've had some really good success stories with the nutrition piece of it, helping your dad with his cholesterol, talking to your grandma about diabetes. Where do you start with somebody when they come to meet with you? Do you believe in like a certain diet, or do you just kind of have a moderation approach, or what is your approach to nutrition?
Yeah, so I do have clients that come to me and they've been on keto or they've been on low carb or they've been on a variety, dairy, free or gluten free. I'm personally dairy intolerant, so I stay away from that. Not gluten intolerant, but I do understand why people are gluten intolerant. So no specific diet. I do want to meet people where they are, and I don't want to voice it too loudly, but I believe that in moderation, the 80-20 rule for people who don't have allergies and whatnot is the most sustainable. I remember, in college having this set in my mind that carbs are the enemy, and I didn't have any energy. I would avoid social gatherings because I was nervous and fearful of the food that was going to be tempting. And that's not healthy. And I think people can set boundaries, but when they do start incorporating a healthy lifestyle, that food won't be as tempting. So the 20-80 rule, 80% of the time you eat a well-nutritioned diet, lots and lots of water to kind of stop those cravings. And then 20%, when you go to a wedding, have the piece of cake, or, just splurge on a little bit of something that you do enjoy, because it is a journey. And we've all crash dieted before, and we are not still doing them. Maybe a month we are doing them, maybe for a year or something like that, but it's not sustainable. And we give up a lot in our social lives and just our enjoyment when we do crash diet. And so it is that balancing act with nutrition. And I'm not a certified nutrition. I'm taking a couple of courses, but they are able to help people with the diabetes. And we are health coaches are more proactive.
Okay.
And so we're helping people who don't yet have these conditions or these diseases, but we're helping them avoid them occurring. So yeah, that's it's success stories for sure. I love that.
Right. Well, and one of my passions is just showing entrepreneurs that they need the energy, and even it helps you make better decisions when you drink more water, eat healthier, you're fueling your body, it helps with all of that. So I think it's just so important. So I really appreciate you just kind of, first of all, doing this and offering the programs that you offer. And I love your approach of just making it simple and meeting people where they're at. The last thing we need is more expectations on us and more pressure on us. So I love that that's your approach. So tell me a little bit about you. Like, what is your favorite de-stress activity? When you're feeling stressed, what do you like to do throughout the day, like your work day, to kind of help you center and calm down a little bit?
Not everyone is able to have a great work place. I think my staff, we love laughing together. I have a full-time job at a ministry, and that really helps just being in community with people. And I know introverts are like cringing at that. So it might look very different for people. My husband is a huge introvert, and he would be like, that is even a bigger stress than a stress reliever. But what I've been trying to practice too is those quiet car ride homes. I used to be, I have the achiever in me too. And how many podcasts can I get into in a week? When I'm pulling weeds, I listen to podcasts. When I'm driving home, I listen to podcasts. And I've kind of given a little bit of a break of podcasting. And I think that's really helped my mental health. I think podcasts are great and they help so much, but I think me finding a balance within that and carving some time for that quiet time is super helpful for me, just to clear my head and just kind of be in that present state of mind.
Right.
So that's something that I've been incorporating every day. And I make sure that I cut all work, like this means chores, laundry, all work at 8 or 8:30 p.m. And I know people are like, you just rest at 8:30. That is how I'm wired. So I can't help it that it's later. But my husband and I just chill. We just kind of hang out and spend time with one another. We just got a puppy, and so we play with her and just kind of relax. So
Oh, good
that's
for
another
you.
scheduling thing, but maybe for entrepreneurs and type A personalities, that would be helpful too.
Right. I love that. So another thing that I think comes up a lot, and I'm guilty of this too, is it can be a lot of work to eat healthy. Like I always call it the shop and the chop. I'm
Yeah.
always shopping and I'm always chopping, and you get tired of it basically.
Yeah.
So do you have any hacks to kind of help us plan our week and eat better throughout the week, to avoid some
Yeah.
of that overwhelm feeling of trying to eat healthy?
Yeah. I mean, everyone has different capacities, right? And every week looks different. If you are like local, Trader Joe's and Harvest Health Foods have really great pre-made snacks and salads and different wraps and things like that because sometimes at normal grocery stores they are full of sugars and additives and all that, and it's just not great, extra saturated fat and all of that. So going to more healthy whole food stores is can really set you up for success with just pre-made lunches that you can either pop in the oven or nuke at some point, some healthier soups.
Okay.
For the fall. So just finding those pre-made healthy foods. And my clients, we do like a grocery shopping haul too. So I kind of give them some guidance with that because I think it gets really overwhelming.
It does. Yeah. Trying to read the labels, understand the labels. And I think too, the information's always changing, like we're always being bombarded with a new this, new that. And it's hard to just kind of stay in the lane and know what to look for. So, all right. I love
But
that.
a lot of veggies. So.
Yeah. And I guess farmers markets too, right? Take advantage of those right now.
Yeah. Yep. And there you can just pick up blueberries and cut up cucumbers. Like when you think about it, now try to pick veggies. If you are super rural, try to pick veggies and fruits that you can just wash and eat, rather than have to, I have broccoli sitting in my fridge and we've been traveling and I'm not going to bake it, but I'm going to rinse my blueberries, cut my cucumbers and eat those. So trying to pick some things that are easier, just wash and go rather than cook.
That's true, especially depending on what your week looks like. Awesome. So, all right. So for those that are sitting here wondering, okay, this all sounds great. I know I need to do something. I've been feeling more tired than usual. I'm, feeling a little more stressed. I'm, feeling a little yucky. What's just like kind of a couple quick tips just to get somebody going in that direction? And like, what can they start tomorrow? Just something they can just get started with.
So the biggest tip, have a full glass of water before your coffee. I think we are some people, I drink about a cup of coffee a day because I love it, but setting yourself up as to be hydrated will make you less sluggish, will have you eating better because you won't be having those cravings. So water is key. And sometimes people are like, 64 ounces, 72 or 72 ounces, just drink your water, a cup of water or two before you pour your coffee. And then you'll already, if you're a checklist person, you'll already have 2 under your belt before you start the day. So that is a good tip. And listening to your body. And that seems like, how do you even do that? But if you are constantly being bloated, and sluggish throughout the day, pay attention to what you're eating and maybe even food journal. And I know that seems daunting and scary. Do it for 3 days and see how some patterns in your diet and then go from there and make some changes. But I think water is the best advice that I can have, especially for us who work at our desks. Make sure that you're getting up, stretching your legs, getting your water, and then coming back and being recharged.
Awesome. Especially in these hot summer days too. We probably even need more than we realize. So,
right.
Awesome. So you offer a free consultation. Which I will put a link to that in the comments below this, but take us through kind of what does that look like? Like what would someone could expect from that consultation? What
So they would reach out. They would reach out via email, Lindsey, BE, and then well at gmail.com. And I'm sure you can put that in the the comments as well. But they'll reach out to me. We'll schedule a time to meet. It'll be about 30 to 45 minutes. And then before we meet, I'll send a health history form just to kind of review what the client, their story of health and wellness and food. And then we'll talk about that. And then I want to make sure that the client is the right fit and vice versa. So they do like my approach to health and wellness, and we both find it fitting. And then we will schedule our every other week we'll meet for about 45 minutes for 3 months. And then we will go from there and try some things out. And I usually follow up with my client once a week just for that accountability sake. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. So just learning a little bit about them during that free consultation.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your journey. It was really interesting to learn the passion behind your business and just giving us some things to think about, that doesn't have to be daunting, doesn't have to be one more thing to do, that it's really can become part of your lifestyle. You just have to allow it. And trust me, I know, I mean, I'm living proof that I have more energy. I feel better. I sleep better. And, your businesses are going to do better if you're taking care of yourself. So I just
make it fun. Do something competitive in your workplace too, just to do it right then and there. So.
Yeah, that's true. And like you said, your dog, it doesn't have to be this horrible workout, because, a lot of people don't like working out. So you have a dog, take your dog for a walk, whatever it is that brings joy, right?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I'd love to hear from some people, reach out, and I'm super excited to connect. So.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you for being a resource for people, and thank you for your time. I really enjoyed chatting with you today.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. That wraps up this Think Tank Thursday. And just know that I'm here to help you build a better business. So if I can help you incorporate some strategies to improve your day-to-day operations, to grow your business, to incorporate some healthy living so that you can have some boundaries and get away and enjoy time, reach out to me. I'd love to have that meeting. So until next time, thanks, everyone.